Yo, Strong Opinion Sports has a store. Shirts, hoodies, everything. It's all on sale until the end of November. Go buy stuff. I want to go back and talk about what happened last week in college football. Technically, I guess that's college football week 11. You may or may not know I've been recovering. I got my wisdom teeth out last Friday, and so I have not yet gotten to talk about last week in college football. So there's a couple of games I want to highlight and go through. Number one, Wisconsin beat the crap out of Michigan. Wisconsin won 49-11. And my honest thought is that it's really too bad COVID has already kind of ruined the Wisconsin football season. I'd love to see them salvage it if they can get all their games through. They got like 4 left. And if they can get into the college football conversation or even the Big Ten championship game, I want to see what Wisconsin's capable of, because they are a really, really capable football team. And I mean, I just, the difference that their young quarterback, Graham Mertz, has made, he really has elevated the capability of this football team. Wisconsin getting Graham Mertz reminds me a lot of when Alabama got Tua, and we all looked around at each other and went, oh yeah, this is just different. This Alabama team is way more capable now. It took them to the next level as a program. An already great program got better. And so I feel very similar about Graham Mertz. I have said for years that quarterbacks need to go to Wisconsin. I mean, Graham Mertz was really smart to go there because, again, for years I've been saying all they're missing is a quarterback. They run the ball incredibly well. They have incredibly good offensive linemen. If you're a quarterback, you're like, man, I want to be on a team that can run the ball. I want to be on a team that can, hey, they got great old linemen. And you want to be on a team that on 4th and 1, you know, pretty much every single time they can get that first down running the football. Being able to run the ball is incredibly good. And Graham Mertz's vision to go, yeah, I might be one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, but hey, I'm going to go to Wisconsin because I believe I can elevate that program. And oh boy, Graham Mertz really, really has. And so I think, man, Graham was the missing piece they needed. He's smart, he's accurate, he's very efficient, and he's what Wisconsin has needed to dominate and put them over the top. Wisconsin hasn't recruited a quarterback this good in forever. They got Russell Wilson as a graduate transfer from NC State. It's hard to count that. Graham Mertz is the best quarterback they've recruited as a freshman in years. He's phenomenal. He's really good. He looks like an NFL quarterback in my opinion. And this Wisconsin team is dangerous. If not this year, next year, get out of the way. Watch out. They are a very, very capable football team. By the way, Michigan looked awful. It's kind of sad. I mean, I've always liked Jim Harbaugh. He appears to be on his way out. He does not look like he's doing very well. I don't know if it's because he wanted a vacation and he thought COVID was going to give it to him and now he had to come back to coaching and he's not prepared. I don't know what's going on with Jim Harbaugh, but it's just not good at Michigan. Now, number 2, USC barely beat Arizona. So once again, USC needed their star quarterback, Keaton Slovis, to save them in the last minute. USC won 34-30. Keaton had 2 touchdown drives at the very end of the game again in the final 5 minutes. And USC's offense has a lot of problems. They cannot win on 3rd and short. So 3rd down, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and inches, 4th and goal. They cannot win up front running the football. They're just not good enough to do it and make it happen. And then also, the coaching staff at USC needs to find a way to design an offense that can better attack zone coverage. They're not putting defenders in conflict enough. They're running man beaters against zone coverage. It's not pretty. Again, Keaton had to rescue them at the end of the game. And USC had a ton of penalties. I want to be very clear. Right now, Keaton Slovis at USC is masking all kinds of problems that this program has. It's not good. It's not pretty. Keaton is elevating them by playing very, very well. Now, he missed a couple throws. I think that people don't realize USC, to me, pretty clearly had a problem with their game balls, getting them ready. I don't think Keaton Slovis is getting the attention he deserves. He's playing outstanding football. And USC is 2-0. They don't deserve to be 2-0. They've been rescued now twice in a row by their young quarterback, Keaton Slovis, who, again, you got to pay. Keaton Slovis is shredding everybody, making great decisions, overcoming all kinds of dysfunction around him. Keaton Slovis is the guy people need to pay attention to in college football. He's playing very, very well, and he deserves more respect, in my opinion. Number 3, Indiana blew out Michigan State 24-0. I don't really care about this game. Michigan State is not very good, and I guess my kind of interest in this game is that next weekend, Indiana plays Ohio State. So, Indiana, they're 4-0, but they're really a very unimpressive 4-0. I'm really excited to watch how they match up against Ohio State. Can we really get a litmus test of how good is this team? Are they having a good year? Or is Indiana actually a really good football team now? Are they a building, growing program? Because Indiana's played 4 games this year, during COVID, by the way, which has a lot of other problems. And the teams they've beat have a combined 3 wins. 4 teams, only 3 wins between the 4 of them. Michigan is 1-3. Michigan State is 1-3. Rutgers is 1-3. And Penn State is 0-4. Penn State got blown out by Maryland. So I'm not impressed when I look at the wins Indiana has. But I don't know. I'm happy for them. I mean, Indiana, how long has it been since Indiana was 4-0 and exciting to watch? Been forever. So I'm happy for them. But I think they're going to lose convincingly to Ohio State this weekend. I'm not very confident in Indiana against Ohio State, but I am curious. I'm going to give them a chance. I'm really excited to see how good is Indiana. Can they hold their own against Ohio State? If they lose the game, no shame, but I'm curious, can they compete? If they lose and they're competitive, hey, that'd be really interesting from Indiana. I'm curious, how good is Indiana actually? Now, Florida beat Arkansas 63-35. This is quarterback Felipe Franks against his old school Florida, who, remember, he lost his job to Kyle Trask and he transferred to Arkansas. And I don't know. I guess really my appreciation from this game, I watched it and I was sitting at home going, man, the quarterback play in the SEC is just so good recently. For years, it was garbage. It wasn't good. Felipe Franks played a really good game, in my opinion, against Florida, his old team. He was very efficient, made some good throws. Kyle Trask was outstanding, had a really great ball location. Mac Jones at Alabama's killing it. Last year we had Tua and Joe Burrow. I guess I'm just glad that the SEC finally figured out how to coach quarterbacks. I'm like, thank you. You have great athletes. You have incredible talent. Now you got quarterbacks? Oh, boy. Bring it on. I want to watch the SEC every weekend. It's phenomenal football. Now, Felipe Franks lost to his old team, Florida. I don't know. He lost his job to a better quarterback. And honestly, I think that, I mean, look, Felipe Franks, he gets to be the man, and he gets a lot of playing time at Arkansas, so he should be happy. He's doing very well. I don't really feel bad for him. He lost to a better quarterback, and in the end, got pretty much everything he could possibly ask for in college football. And this Florida team, Florida's really good, man. This team, Florida, Wisconsin, Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State. There are so many teams between the SEC, the Big Ten, and the ACC that I go, I mean, look, it's going to be really wild. You got three conferences vying for 4 spots in the college football playoff. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? I don't know. In my opinion, the Big 12 and the Pac-12, they're not going to make it. But I'm really excited. Florida could get a spot in the college football playoff, even if they don't beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's like 6 teams vying for 4 spots, and it's going to be really, really fun to watch what happens down the road as college football winds down. I also want to add that Florida tight end Kyle Pitts, he didn't play in this game against Arkansas. He's a star. And if Kyle Pitts isn't the next big tight end star in the NFL, I'd be shocked. He's going to follow in the footsteps, in my opinion, of a guy like Travis Kelce or Jimmy Graham or Darren Waller, where Kyle Pitts is a matchup nightmare. He's too big for a defensive back to cover him. I mean, a small guy who's 6'3" and lanky, they call him pencil necks in high school. They're too skinny and small to guard a guy like Kyle Pitts who can body them up and, basically outbox them for the ball. And then anybody who actually is Kyle Pitts' size is too slow or not athletic enough to cover him. Remember, he's 6'6", 246 pounds. He's a huge, massive athlete. He's just rare and gifted, and he's playing super well. So Kyle Pitts, in my opinion, is the next great NFL tight end of the likes of Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, and Jimmy Graham. Receiving tight end, not much of a blocker, but man, Kyle Pitts, pay attention to him. Number 5, this is a wild story. I don't really care about what happened in the game. UCLA beat Cal last week 34-10. But again, the outcome doesn't matter. What's interesting is the fact that this game even happened at all. This game was actually played, a college football game played on Sunday. Not a Saturday. No, the next day on Sunday. So originally, Cal was supposed to play at Arizona State in, well, obviously Arizona. And Utah was supposed to play UCLA. Well, Utah got COVID, and Arizona State got COVID, so Cal and UCLA were left with nobody to play. They're like, what do? We don't have a game this weekend because the teams who are going to play have COVID. And so what they did is they changed things around and said, screw it. We're going to play each other. And they decided to, Cal went on the road down to UCLA to LA. They played a game, and it was messy. It was wild. It wasn't very good as a football game, really. I mean, there was like a block punt and all kinds of problems. Nobody really had film to prepare. But I guess just this weird, messy game that was put together in like 2 days is really just kind of a weird, unique, very, very 2020-esque story that we're not going to see. I don't know that in my lifetime we're going to have a game where it's played on Sunday. They scheduled it 2 days ago. There's no film. They were going to play other teams that weekend. We're never going to see a story like that again in my lifetime unless it happens again this year. So UCLA Cal, just a weird, wild, unique story. The final game I want to talk about, number 6. Oregon beat Washington State 43-29. Oregon's quarterback, Tyler Shah, he's fun to, Shah, I think it's Shah. It's Shough, like how do you, I think Shah. He had 4 touchdowns. Oregon also ran the ball for 269 yards. Look, Oregon is the biggest football team in the Pac-12. They are very, very physical at the line of scrimmage. They're a big team up front. And then I want to give a shout out to Oregon's probably, I think they're the best program right now, top to bottom, other than, I think Arizona State's got these really great roots. They're building something. Their recruiting's great. Right now, the top dog in the Pac-12, though, is Oregon. And for Washington State to make this game competitive, to hang around, Washington State's rebuilding their program. Nobody expected them to make it interesting and be in this game, and they were. Adrian Hector had a huge day on defense. He had 2 fumble recoveries and an interception. That's ridiculous. That never happens. Running back Deion McIntosh is awesome. And then I am telling you, there's this guy, this true freshman quarterback, Jayden de Laura at Washington State. He's the most talented quarterback they have recruited in forever. He's really, really good. And he made some great plays against Oregon. I am telling you, if you're out there, Jayden de Laura is the name you need to know in college football. He's a stud. He's a true freshman. He's in a perfect offense to fit his skill set playing under Nick Rolovich, who I think he played like in NFL Europe or something. He's a really good coach. And Jayden de Laura is in a perfect offense for him. Pay attention to Washington State and Jayden de Laura as the years go on. And as Jayden grows, as the Washington State football team grows, I know I'm biased. I went to school there for a little bit. I don't really care. It's not about my bias. It's about, hey, Jayden de Laura is really, really good. You got to know his name. You got to pay attention to him. 2 games in, very impressed. He's playing very, very well. Keep your eye on Jayden de Laura at Washington State.